Are you renting a car in Italy? What rental company works best here? Should you go for the local or for the global brand? I will tell you everything in this video, and we tell you also about a company I would never choose, and in my opinion they are quite used to scam the customers. But let's start with the big names like here Sixto, you have Avis, the global brands. What I like of these companies is that usually they provide a newer and more modern car. And typically they serve inside the airport, so you don't need to take any shuttle to go outside. Plus they are all connected to some sort of mileage card for your favorite airline. So what's the drawback of these companies? Obviously the price. They tend to be more expensive, sometimes really much more expensive. On this trip, for example, a local provider cost me a fifth of a global brand. Another two advantages of the big names is that they are typically open 24 hours a day. So if your flight is late or early in the morning, you can pick up the car anyway. Meanwhile, the locals, sometimes they open at 7 and they close at 9. And if you want the car outside of this time, you will be charged more. So the final price may be not actually worth it. And secondly, with the big brands, people working there tend to speak better English. Meanwhile, the local providers tend to have more of a broken English. Personally, I don't find it like a big deal because you can always use the Google Translator. So I wouldn't consider that such a big deal. If you go for the smaller names, more local companies like Sicily by Car here on my back, what you will have is a more affordable price. But at what cost? So usually the cars are not the last model, but still they are quite good. Availability is not as broad as the global name, of course, and they are hardly connected to any flight card. But if you're looking to save some money, probably the local companies work best. Of course, sometimes you have to pick up the car outside the airport, so you will need to wait for the shuttle that comes for free anyway. The way I've been renting cars for the last 5 years is to use an aggregator website that compares the price of different providers. I have a favorite website which is a sort of Airbnb where the renters like me can actually give a feedback after using the car, and all of the rental companies are rated from 5 to 10, and when I rent a car I usually filter between 8 and 10, so I'm pretty sure to have a good quality of service. Moreover, on this website that I use, I can add the full insurance for just 8 to 10 euros a day, which is absolutely a bargain, and it gives me such a peace of mind during my trip. So check out this website in the video description, and remember to book well in advance to get the best price and the best selection of cars. Nowadays, most of the rental cars and websites offer free cancellation up to 24 or 48 hours before the pickup time. Very important, check out the small letters, because sometimes you'll be charged for airport pickup, and that's why I prefer to book cars from rental companies outside the airport. And the worst comes when they actually charge you at the counter at the airport, so you have no choice than to accept. Check out also how it works with petrol. Most they rent with full to full, which is the best option. If they do it with empty to empty, just be aware that it would be very hard to give back the car on empty. And based on your type of trip, just make sure also to have all of the kilometers included into your rental, because if you go over the number of kilometers, you will be charged an arm and a leg. And now let me tell you a company that I will never use it again. Can't tell you the name, but probably you can guess it. Why? Because I rented a car with them in a couple of occasions, and both times they tried to scam me with a typical insurance scam. What is it? Basically they tried to upsell me a full insurance big time. I didn't accept it because I had already one organizer through my aggregator that cost 8-10 euros. And then when I took back the car, they tried to claim I had damaged it with scratches and bumps. Luckily I took photos and videos so I could prove that the car was already like that when I picked it up. And that's what I highly suggest. Doesn't matter if you've done a full insurance, take photos and videos of both the exterior and the interior of the car. First, because you're not gonna waste your time doing all of the documents because of the damage. And secondly, pay attention because most of the full insurers don't actually pay for damages to the interior of the car. And with this, I'm gonna close this video. Please subscribe to the channel, put a like if you appreciate all of the information in this video, and I see you in the next one.